Well, the Run for Children applications are now available online, and this year's Run for Children will take place on Sunday, April 26th, rain or shine. We kick off in front of the Union County College on East Jersey Street, and we start there at 9 a.m. There's a 5-mile run, a 3-mile fun walk, and a 100-yard dash for the kids. So applications are available on the city's website, which is www.elizabethnj.org, or you can dial 908-820-4050.
Now, we benefit the St. Clair's House for AIDS kids.
St. Clair's Home for Children and the Union County Child Advocacy Center.
And last year's turnout was great. Are we looking to increase that number?
Well, each year we try to get better and better, which I think is hard to do, but somehow or another we do manage to top the numbers from the previous year. So it looks good this year.
Now, the Arabella Miller Scholarship Fund, you're on the board there as well, and
Right.
you give out a scholarship to a young lady and a young man who graduated high school. Tell us about that.
Applications are now out. You can get them at the guidance counselor's office or again at City Hall. You can always dial 820-4238 to pick up an application. And the deadline for that is in May. We give out a scholarship, and we're looking for candidates now, so they're available for them.
Yeah, and Arabella Miller was a woman in the port section of our city who was very generous with her time and her money
Right.
60 years ago.
I think she was the founder of the Pioneer Club, and also she started quite a few low-income housing projects for people in the city, and also visiting nurses.
Good. Alonzo, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show.
My pleasure.
And I look forward to seeing the Idol winner and seeing her or him
Yeah, it could be him.
perform in the future.
Right.
For Alonzo Jones, I'm Chris Bolwade. Stay with us after these messages. We'll be back with Councilman Ed Jackas talking about the Elizabeth Hall of Fame. Welcome back to our city. I'm pleased to be joined the second half of this show by Councilman at Large, Councilman Ed Jackas. Councilman, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it.
You know, the last couple of months saw a real difficult time for the city of Elizabeth and the Elizabeth Athletic Hall of Fame in the passing of Edward Buzzy Fox, an organizer, a charter member of the Hall of Fame, as well as Larry Lewandowski, Recreation Department member. Tell us your thoughts.
Well, Mayor, you know, they're two great men, really dedicated to the city of Elizabeth, dedicated to my Athletic Hall of Fame, and they've done so many very nice things for us at the Hall of Fame. Buzzy Fox is a legend. I mean, a coach at St. Patrick's, coach for the American Legion baseball team for years and years and years. And Larry Lewandowski has been involved in athletics in the city of Elizabeth since he's about 15 years old with the Elizabeth PAL. We worked together. I was about 13, he was about 16.
Is it true when Larry Lewandowski was umpiring the games back then, everything was a strike for you because you were from Bayway?
Now that's taking it a little bit too far, man.
But I heard that you were a Bayway kid, so when Larry was behind the plate, you just kept getting the strike call.
Larry, you know, didn't take any nonsense. Larry actually threw me out of a game a couple of times, so I mean.
And you didn't deserve it.
No, I did not deserve that.
How many classes so far have been inducted into the Hall of Fame?
12. We're on our 12th annual dinner.
Or 13th then? There's
no.
been 12 in already, or this is the 12th?
This is the 12th annual.
Oh, it is?
Yes, and it's been every one of them has been exciting. You know, we started this thing, I guess, back in '97. We met as a committee.
Well, I remember when you brought it to my attention and said you wanted to do this. You thought it was a great
Absolutely.
idea, and you got the ball rolling, and you ran with it, and people like Buzzy Fox and Larry Lewandowski were part of the original charter members with you.
Well, Frank Ciccarello was on that committee, who just recently passed away last year. There are a lot of tremendous guys on this committee, and we've really been able to move this thing. And I was just talking to Ralph Froelich the other day, Sheriff Froelich from Union County, and he told me, again, and he always tells me when he sees me, do not let this thing die, because there are so many people that truly enjoy this night, this dinner. I mean, you've been to almost every one of them. Every one of them you've been to. And the stories that you hear are phenomenal. Things that you wouldn't expect actually come out of these inductees, out of their emotions, and it's just making for a great evening.
And Councilman, there's 13 inductees this year. Maybe we can talk about a couple of are we allowed to talk? They've been notified, right? That they're
Yes,
being inducted.
they should all be. Yes.
So
they
maybe we
have
could
been.
talk about a couple that you may know personally or played with or against or...
Well, we have a female coming in, Angela Vaughn, who was an outstanding athlete at Elizabeth High School.
She still works at the high school.
She does. She is definitely in with the Elizabeth Board of Education. I was talking to her the other night, as a matter of fact, about it. She's very excited. And we haven't had a female in a while, and we need to get more.
Somebody's got to nominate him, right? Maybe people aren't nominating the
Well,
females.
that's also
Yeah.
true. We need to have applications come into our committee so that we can review them when it becomes nomination time, and then, of course, we select. But this year we have 13 of them. We always nominate and induct 12. It's a very difficult thing and a very thin line when you come down to people who are tied and who should get it and who should not get the induction. So this year we had a tie. We also had a tie one other time, and we inducted both rather than make a choice and not elect either one of them into the Hall of Fame. So the scoring is difficult. It's not easy, and people read these bios that come in, and it's interesting the way things work out.
And some of the other inductees, Councilman?
Well, we have Jimmy O'Halloran, former football coach at Elizabeth High School. Tim McManus, former football coach at Elizabeth High School. Joseph Halleck, Bob Halleck's dad. And Jay Gaboff is coming in from the Jewish Educational Center.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there's a wide array of people coming in.
You have a lot of memories in the Hall of Fame dinner, as I do.
Yes.
Give me one of your favorite memories.
Well, I think one of the, I think you and I were ready to get the hook on one of our inductees.
George Alusic,
Absolutely, you remember him. George
baseball
got a,
pitcher for the Yankees.
well, he wasn't a pitcher. He was an outfielder. He actually watched Mickey Mantle's home run hit the light stanchion on that long shot that he hit in the '60s, early '60s. George spoke for 25 minutes.
Oh, I think it was an hour and 5 minutes.
But it was interesting because he had to let everyone know what he accomplished and how he accomplished and how Elizabeth actually helped him.
The only speaker longer than him, I think, was Stan Seniak.
Stan was out there a long time, too. Former St. Patrick's basketball. Actually, was my basketball coach at Thomas Jefferson, freshman
You didn't
basketball.
learn anything, did you?
Oh, I did.
You did?
He was
Oh.
an excellent coach.
Oh, okay. Just checking. The voting committee receives a lot of applications, and some of the voting members. Who are the voting members on the Hall of Fame committee?
Well, you have Paul Odessa, you have John Moretti, you have Gil Grant, former coach at Elizabeth High School, Thomas Jefferson High School. You have Bob Varity, attorney, graduate of Thomas Jefferson High School. We have Sheriff Froelich. We have Superior Court Judge
Weiss.
Judge Weiss. We have a wide array of people who actually are on this committee. You know what? There's a story. There's a great story about Judge Weiss. When he was still on the bench, he called me when we were actually advertising for people to want to be on our committee, and he called me. I had no idea who he was at the time, and I actually had to tell him, "I'm sorry, Judge, but we already filled the committee." He was not upset, but he said, "Would you please call me as soon as there is an opening? I want to be on this committee."
And he has to be on it.
Oh, yes. Oh,
He's at every dinner.
he's at every dinner. He's at every meeting. And he's retired now, and it's very interesting.
And how long do you keep the applications in consideration?
We don't ever terminate them. We always keep them on file. We always list the people who are with a date, a year that they sent their application in, and we keep them.
Now, anybody can nominate anybody, right?
Anyone can nominate anyone.
And how does that process work?
There's an application that is at the Elizabeth Recreation Department. You should call or even go onto the website. We have a website through the city, a city link, and you can download the application, or you can call Recreation Department, the Elizabeth Recreation Department.
And that number is 820-4222. Is that enough twos? 4222. And they can get you the application. Or you can go on the website, www.elizabethnj.org.
Right.
Go to the Recreation Department, and there's a link there.
There's a link.